Becker. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Adelaide Oval. South Adelaide led by 37 points, but they're in big trouble. Central District within 5 points. David Mackay joins us and Stephen Trick. Gee, fellas, it's been a terrific fight back. They've got a real sniff now, haven't they?
Well, I think the thing about Central is the reason they're second on the ladder is they have some real honesty in this side. Alan Stewart, terrific coach. He's got rid of a few cheats in his team, and every single player on this field will keep going right to the final siren.
McGowan gets it. He was fantastic early, and then he was chopped out of the game. One thing we should tell you is that this game has been full of spite. Pure and simple, best way I could explain it. Some quite substantial fights at the end of the first term. I've seen 3 reports throughout this very spirited game. Here's Gurdon, industrious through the middle of the ground, gets it away to Healy, right leg. Here's a chance. South Adelaide make front spot intelligently. There's Cotton into the game in the third term. They shovel it forward. Jackson was one of the players who was reported. So too Hanley. They're the 2 players that are leading in the race for the ball. We'll get a look at Jackson in just a moment. You'll see his right eye is closed up from an altercation that he had. There it is. Indeed, some blood streaming from the nose. So 3 reports and a very fiery opening. Lewis back into the side. Spent 11 weeks out of action, and Jackson runs it towards the line. Just gets a little one in the back for his measure as well.
I think that's just a little niggle. Hanley and Jackson have been at each other all day. And Jackson's role in the South Adelaide defence is that of an agitator. Just unsettles people, makes them aware of his presence, and perhaps when they're coming in his general direction, they're a little unsure about whether they can run through freely.
6 points, South Adelaide lead. They're hanging on grimly after they led by as much as 37 points. They've basically been in front for most of the game, and they've controlled it. They should have been a long, long way in front, though, because they were kicking very poorly, and they could have been 8 or 9 goals in front, but that's history. They're not, and they're in big trouble at the moment as Central District mount a very significant charge. This is Robertson, former Sturt Rover, and Robertson kicks long inside 50. Up goes Richardson, couldn't control the mark. Louis got paid over the shoulder or the mark.
I think he got the mark. It was a terrific effort too, backing into the pack. He knew there were people coming at him, eye on the ball, just took it and brought it down, and the umpires paid it.
David, I think a Raider's claiming it as well, so it's just a matter of the umpire's discretion. Richardson thinks he might have it. South Adelaide player on the mark says, which way do you think it should go? And it goes to Richardson.
Now, we mentioned earlier in the third quarter that Port Adelaide have given this fellow away to the Bulldogs, and you wonder about the sense in that decision. They've got Tyler, they've got Hodges, they've got Simon Pedler, and they give away this fellow who sits second or third on the goal-kicking ladder.
Well, what an important kick. 6 points of difference. The siren's gone. I thought that Central District, through the middle part of this game, lost their way when the fisticuffs came. They lost their focus. It switched from the football to the player and the body. Good-looking kick from Richardson. 3/4 time at Adelaide Oval on ABC Sport. And his round 18 clashes tied away. 66 points apiece. 9-12 to 10-6. And it's anybody's game to say the very least. Well, I think the breeze just looks to be picking up a little by the flutter of the flag. Way up goes Coffey. Terrific mark. Dished out to Gurdon. Look at those for Samaras. Here comes Whitson from nowhere. From the back of the pack. Lines it up from 40 metres and he's nailed it. Oh, and have a look at this. Gee, there's some being thrown there by Jackson and also Handley. I mean, we're not even talking during the game here, for heaven's sake. This is quarter time. I just wonder if that's a spectator in there, and this, in fact, it is. That's a disgrace. He should be nowhere on the ground, and the police should be out there getting him off. There's Jackson. Thank you very much. Oh, dear, don't do that. Slick, isn't it? Not a bad piece of work. Far side. That puts it up in towards the full forward or half forward area. Good take by number 13. Jamie Lamb. Shorty goes into the picture. Appears Zellin. Gets it to Bone. Was it smarted or not? He chipped it short. Wins it. Claims it to the umpire. Says no. It's a goal. Setting himself as Lewis. Can't quite take it. Cook appears from nowhere. Could snare this one. Around the body. Terrific kick. Goal of the day. Tim Cook gets it. Third term. Well done, Cotter. It's a bit different to his old club man who used to wear that number 44 jumper, curly-headed John Platten. There's not much on Cotter at all. Well done to Lewis. Round the body. Can he get it? I think he has. Great kick, Simon.
Coming from behind. South Adelaide and Central District all set. Here's Stephen Tree.
Troy Burton puts the ball up. This is going to be great. 66 points apiece. Picturesque Adelaide Oval, and such an important game for both sides. More so perhaps for South Adelaide. Gurdon looks to charge his way through. Reimers
Deft little handball. Finds McGowan. Up it goes, and Quinn stands his ground. Should have taken it, Simon. An important one to take. Simon Lewis gets it, gives some ground, goes right back towards Stevens and McGowan. Now Keogh's tracking him, can't pull him in. Round the body, he goes, way out goes Reimers. He plays so tall and takes a good mark.
Oh, terrific athlete, Reimers. He just launched himself into that. He was nowhere as the ball went up. Look where he comes from. 20 metres away when Whitman's right underneath the ball. He just leapt in front of Whitman. Extended hands.
Reimers looking into the sun. It's a tough kick from that angle, but he's done well. He's given Central the momentum in this last term. 9-12 South Adelaide. They've surrendered the lead. 11-6.
Now look how they lost the ball. It comes in. Oh, it's so very dangerous. They were under pressure. Lewis gathered in the loose ball, gave himself some space. And this is an important kick from Lewis. And as you said, he's been tracked by Keogh. Keogh has tried to nullify him, but the athleticism of Reimers. An important early goal.
Oh, how critical was that? We've got some three-quarter time scores of other games coming up very shortly. Glenelg lead North by 26 points.
And remember that North will come home with the breeze in the final term.
The Eagles have got hold of West Adelaide by 35 points, so they've turned that one around. And, of course, the other game is Port Adelaide and Sturt tomorrow. Back here at Adelaide Oval at 6 points the difference. Charging in there was Lamb. It was a free kick off of the ball, and I think, yes, it's Rick McGowan that's going to get it.
Well, let's assume, fellas, that Glenelg beat North for the moment. This is an important game for South Adelaide. It really lets them consolidate right inside the 2 games clear.
Need to keep their breathing space. Reimers has had an enormous impact since he came onto the ground. We're 2 minutes into the last quarter. There he is again. Gets the tap away. Cameron couldn't quite sneak it through. Here's Jackson. You need a one-take, Kent, otherwise you're going to be besieged. There are Bulldogs everywhere, a whole pack of them. Kicks it up high, does Healy. Well, will take some marking. Good attempt to do so by Macri in there. Gets shoveled out now towards Girdham. Cook. Mills is in there. They'll run it towards the line. I'm sure that Healy would just love to keep it in and get it to Cotton. He can't do so. It goes over.
Well, you're talking, Stephen. I was just thinking about the Crows in Central District. Central have Ingerson, Reimers, and the Crows really don't have a centre-half forward of any real sort. I wonder whether Reimers shouldn't be given another chance.
Central District lead by 6 points. They've turned this right around after leading after South. Oh, here's a goal to Handley. Oh, they're in front by 12 points now. And I was just going to say that South Adelaide at one stage led by 37 points. What an incredible turnaround.
Well, Kent Jackson's man, they've been at it all day with fisticuffs. Hanley has one in every quarter, one in the first, second, third, and now one in the final term. 4 goals from a half-forward flanker. He's done his job, and Jackson just jogging behind. I think he just lost the bot momentarily.
The South Adelaide coverage of the Catalysts in the Central District side just starting to break down. 3.5 minutes into a most important last term, and it's 12 points in it. Arnold again gets his hand to the ball. This time it's a little more effective, except they couldn't make the most of the far side. He's cleaned up Stevens today, but here's Scotty. Brings it back inside. Not quite. Thought he had it. He had the perfect sit. Girdham got it back to Cook. It's a terrific goal, as you saw in our highlights. Well done by Quinn. Ground, little paddle back. Been a penalty shot if you're playing soccer. On the body and gets caught. Now he needs to across the face. Hanley can't quite take it. Snaps it around the body, and Cameron takes it.
Healy, 3 or 4 minutes ago. Trevino was attacking the ball 30 seconds ago, I should say. Healy slid in, took the kick. That's the sort of commitment a coach is looking for.
There's Cameron with Heath now for South Adelaide. Whitman, good hand pass. Up they go, no. Cleverly. Very long towards centre half forward. No. And the players convert the ball up 50 metres out.
Reimers again. Couldn't take clean possession, but just made sure that South passed it out of defence.
South Adelaide need to find something very quickly because they don't look to have the spark. Stevens, Cook and back to Stevens again around the body. Under all sorts of pressure at the moment, the South defence. Here's Jackson working back. A little bit of poise, but that kick, gee, they were lucky to get away with that. I thought it was going to... Three South Adelaide players, a little lazy from Batham, but it's come off.
Well, I think Healy gave him no choice. Healy was looking to squeeze the ball, look for support when there was none. Trevena just dived on top of him, and Healy was good enough to just pull it in.
Heath and Reimers doing the ruck work for their respective sides. Cook gets a short kick. It goes very high. Now Richardson, very athletic, very clever. Not a lot of pressure on him. What about this? Handley. Jackson comes at him. Handley takes the mark.
All right. Handley's going to kick 5. Kent Jackson did very well early, agitated, for all he was worth.
Well, he's been beaten now because 5 goals from half forward is a good day out. And Jackson, I just couldn't believe he'd given him so much room. He was standing out here at half-back looking for a soft option, and when it turned over, gave Handley the chance.
Here he is, left footer, and he has got it. Well, what a turnaround this is. Handley gets his 5th. It's 13-6 to 9-12.
To be fair to Jackson, what he was actually doing was running forward. He believed that South Adelaide had control, and he was going forward. Then when they lose the ball, he's caught out of position. Look how far away he is. He's about 25, 30 metres. He was looking to run into attack. He backed his teammates. And when you've got possession, that comes off, it looks terrific. But when it doesn't, you come unstuck like that. And you've got to say he was perhaps doing the right thing initially. They have to attack if they're going to win this game.
7 minutes into the last term, and all of a sudden it's 18 points to difference. Bones gone into the ruck, shovels it forward. Ken Sheldon starting to make some changes. Cook again.
He's gone to centre-half back out of the ruck.
Broom up to centre-half forward.
There's McGowan. An extraordinary game from him, so influential early, then dropped out of the game. Around the body it goes, centre wing, way up goes Cotter, couldn't quite take it. Off hands to Polkinghorne, now Whitman, little grubber. Needs to one take, not quite this time. Here's Cameron, zippy little bloke, isn't he? Round 1, round 2, gone too far. And the ball will have to come back to half-back.
Nothing going right for them.
Well, Cameron's been a terrific player. Take nothing away from his game today. He's been perhaps in the best 2 or 3 South players, but he just didn't have an option.
Don't forget the football show tonight at 5:30. Michael Aish, Neville Roberts, and plenty of guests. Some good topics to talk about as well.
Did you work out who the 65 McGarry medalist was, fellas? All right.
Beats me.
There's Reimer's kick. Gets about 35 metres with it. Dear, oh dear, there's some very heavy body work going on there. Another goal coming up perhaps. Here's Cotton, gets it across to Girdham. And the kick to the front of the square, almost the mark taken by Handley, but not successful.
Well, now look at Ken Sheldon. What he wants is some attack out of defence. When they've won earlier this year, that's what they've been doing. Running the ball quick and hard out of defence. I think they're just taking the ball, holding it up, instead of just playing on at every opportunity. That's what he wants them to do, and that's what they're not doing.
Since half-time, the Bulldogs have kicked 8, and South Adelaide have kicked 1. Quinn brings it back into play. Looks for and finds Whitford onto the ground for the first time. Left leg, far side. Where's Powell? There he is.
Look at him. Look at him. Play on, fellas.
Not really having a go, are they? Or at least taking any risk. Kick to kick is fine, but they need to get some run in numbers. Round the body. Number 13 is Jamie Lamb. It's not very decisive. Here's a chance. They shovel it forward. One take will do the trick down there. Good tackle by Robertson, holding the ball.
The thing about Lamb then, he gathered the ball and took off straight away. He gave his forwards a chance. The ball came in very quickly, and he needs a few teammates doing that. Look at Central. Grab the ball, turn, go. Grab the ball and go.
Over there in front, over the head of Cotton. Now it comes to centre wing. South Adelaide there with the numbers. He pass infield to Bone. Very good. Girdham okay. Now to Mills. Quickly across to Mitten. Dead set in the middle of the ground here at the Adelaide Oval. Long kick. Well out of position though. That forward down there, Lamb, and the mark an easy one taken by Windsor.
Hasn't he been a good recruit to the club?
He has. Brilliant, yes. From the Bears?
From the Bears.
You think South Adelaide are missing McIntyre and Steckler at the moment. They just don't have anything through the centre-half forward.
They weren't missing them in the first half, though, weren't they? It's been an extraordinary chain of events, really, hasn't it?
They're missing them now, though. Well taken by Heath. Inside that 50-metre line at half-back. He's had a good day out. Jackson, well smothered.
Just a little bit too lazy, perhaps took too long. Hanley is set upon. Here's Jackson again. Badhams, well done, Gurdon. Frantic, isn't it? Always at it, always tough. And drags it in for another effort.
And that's the point. The thing about Central, they keep coming at you with aggression. They hit you hard. And I think at the end of the day, they just wear you down. They're a lot like the Eagles. They hit you so hard, so often, you just run out of steam. And I think that's what's happened to South Adelaide.
19 points. South Adelaide trail. Central District in front. Cotton gets a quick kick. Mills got his eye on the footy. Didn't bounce well for it. Here's Rick McGowan now from 35 metres. Oh, he's put it through. 2 goals to Rick McGowan. And Central District can do no wrong. 14-7 to 9-12.
And that's why people wanted this man for a state sentiment. Look at the work of this, as calm as you like. Look at the balance. Just took it on the half volley as it came up, bang, and just turned it inside out, straightened up, and kicked truly. It was pretty easy.
A journalist likened him a couple of weeks ago to Peter Marker and Paul Bagshaw as sentiment.
Yep.
Might be a bit premature and building him up a bit, but certainly a class act. Bromellow's come back onto the ground.
Dillon off.
Marty Dillon hasn't had the best of days. South Adelaide aren't going to have had the best of days here at the moment either. They're being absolutely steamrolled. Well done by Arnold. Watch this for a man who goes up through the gears. Well done, Stevens. Gave away some ground, then turned it inside out, pushed it up to half forward. Well done, Heath. Good game.
Yes, he's done well in ruck. Now they've used him to plug that big gap at centre half back.
There's Mills gets the hand pass over. This is Badhams. Just hand passes in front of himself. Gains about 4 or 5 metres. Cotton on his tail.
Oh, look at Ken Sheldon. Look at the frustration of being a coach. I wonder his hair's missing.
Oh, it's a lot easier up here.
Wonder if he'll be there next year.
You bet.
Throw in left half forward. Rucks gather. Heath and Reimers. Here's Cook.
Why wouldn't he be?
Oh, just a few stories floating around. There's a big mark by Lewis.
Share those with us.
Oh, just stories
He's not
floating
coaching
around.
Fremantle.
So Lewis has taken a very big mark here.
Perhaps we might quiz you on that at the end of the match, Mark.
Left forward pocket. Simon Lewis out of the game for the first half. Starting to get some touches now.
You're more evasive than Rick McGowan.
Here's the kick by Lewis. Swings it round and he has threaded through it behind.
Oh, it was all set there for a big finish.
Well, it looked like it was going through, didn't it? The breeze is sucking the ball through that goals. He did the right thing. He just put it up in front of the goals and the breeze almost just dragged it through.
Quinn. Now Bromelow in the lace-up jumper around the body. And I think Daryl Heath would be in line for an award at the club tonight. Gets it to Bone. Towards centre wing they go, and they've got Polkinghorn.
May not be any. You're 25 points up at half-time.
And you surrender? You think they might not give them out?
Well, you've got to say it's akin to a surrender, isn't it? They trail by, what, 26 points?
And they surrendered last week as well to Nord when they had the game in the bag. So some problems for Ken Sheldon. No wonder he's looking a little bit anxious down there on the boundary side. Boundary throw-in. Far side of the ground. And Central District, what a turnaround. 26 points. At half-time, it was 8-9 to 5-2. So it's...
what it is. It's a nine-goal turnaround in a quarter and a half.
37 points they led by.
They are the second side, and they've deserved that ranking for some consistent performances through the year. Did well. Cameron was tripped, and he'll have to go back and take his kick.
Why wasn't that play on?
I think it probably would have been in his best interest to go back because he was being set upon by a couple of players.
And the umpire assesses that and works out whether he's in a better position than he would have been. And obviously the umpire thought he wasn't.
Still plenty of sunshine at Adelaide Oval. This is round 18. Second versus fifth, and second at the moment have got the money in the bag.
Not one of their worst, is he, Windsor? As David said, he's been a marvellous recruit. He changes direction, goes to Healy or Reimers at the back. He was 3 deep there, knocked over the line.
The thing about Ray Windsor, he can play full-back, centre-half back. He can play centre-half forward, and he has played this year at full forward. In fact, my recollection, he was a champion schoolboy full forward who represented Queensland in the Teal Cup series and was the premier goal kicker in that competition.
14 and a half minutes. Whitman, high kick. Central District players in numbers there. Well done by Cotter. Gave it to Windsor, and they swing it away now out toward Brian Harada territory, who's on the far wing.
Harada fumbling, needs a one take, can't get it. Arnold lends some support. Well done. great awareness. Robertson just traverses the head now of Cook. He's got a free run, though.
Roger Gurnham says, go all the way, son. He pushes it up towards the full forward line. Great shepherding work, and Kent Jackson runs it across the line.
It was great shepherding work, wasn't it? Terrific work by Richardson, just dragged out. And look at Jackson's right.
Battered and bruised, doesn't he?
He does.
I remember his day. I suppose it could be worse. He could be playing soccer for Columbia or something.
He's black and blue, isn't he?
There's Quinn's kick to Polkinghorne. Some updates coming up right now. Glenelg lead North Adelaide by 24 points. Haven't won for over a month, Glenelg. Eagles lead West Adelaide by 35 points.
May 21st was the last time Glenelg won. And I can tell you today, that match they were attacking. They were just attacking. But there was only 3 points in it at half-time, and North Adelaide looked like they could go on with it.
They're playing at home too, North. They do well generally.
Not this year. Started when Port Adelaide came from nowhere early in the year, their first match at home, and then North Adelaide had the game won, and Port Adelaide kicked 9 goals in the last 10 minutes and won by 5, and it's really set them up for a bad season at home.
Adelaide Oval, Central District are in a commanding position.
Roger Gurdon gets it. He's had a great season. What's happened? Over the line. He was out when he played on.
His first half was pretty ordinary, Roger Gurdon, but like the character that exists in this side, his second half, he's done all the one-percenters that have helped his teammates.
Read some lips over there. Look, he's not happy. He should be, because his side's
turned into a good leader, hasn't he?
About got it. I was saying before the game down in the central rooms that he's really put in this year, having one of his most consistent seasons. Cameron, end-over-end handball, finds Bromelo, left leg, it's an awkward kick. Beautiful mark, terrific mark taken by Potter. Made it look easy, but it was a tough one.
Didn't do so well with the handball, though, did he? Gives every good chance to number 13, who's Jamie Lamb. He streams into an open goal. And Craig Potter would like to forget that. Second goal.
Yes, I think he's just got to put that out of his mind. It was a lazy left handball, a great mark here. He set himself, took it in one hand under pressure from foul, then looked to play on. Now, that's what Centrals are doing. They're looking to play on all the time. But the handball was woeful over the head of Arnold, and Lamb into the open goal. That is a nightmare.
Now, in Columbia, we shoot you for that.
Back in the centre, 14-9 to 10 goals 12. Coffey comes on. Brian Herrera comes off. So the margin is 21 points. There's the hand pass from Reimers. Cameron held without it, gets a free kick, defensive side of centre.
Gary Cameron been very solid. His third quarter was terrific when quite a few of his teammates were missing.
Swings it out to Bromelo. Far side, I can remember Gary Cameron last year, I think it was, being knocked unconscious. Very nasty incident. I think that was here at the Adelaide Oval from memory. At the back is Macri.
Yes, it was.
It was a very, very frightening experience for everyone.
It was his first game back after a knee reconstruction. He'd missed a little over 12 months. Came back, and his first game back, he got clobbered. And I think he ended up with a broken cheekbone.
Oh, well, he was unconscious, and I know that it was an excellent effort from all concerned to save him from a rather nasty fate, because I think he swallowed his tongue. But anyway, he's okay, and he's playing well today, and that's a long time ago. Kenny Sheldon, well, he'd be beside himself.
Lamenting. A win here consolidates them 2 places clear of North Adelaide in the 5, and a loss today puts them back in the ruck, and they've got a lot of work to do in the 6 weeks remaining to the finals.
They were bottom after round 6. They revived their chances, and they might just well be blowing them here today. Whitman. That's a fairly inventive kick from the bottom of the pack. Cotter gets it, swings it around, and has Gurdon. In the sunshine at Adelaide Oval, he goes to half forward. Watch for Reimers, can't quite get there. Working back is Keogh. Now, there's no support there. Does it well, or has he run it across the line? He's put it across.
He's done a Gurdon.
Central loved this oval. They whipped South Adelaide here early in the year, didn't they, by, what was it?
92 points.
Yeah, it was 16-odd goals, 15-odd goals. And they did pretty well here late last year also, where I think they got up by 9 or 10 goals. So they seem to have South Adelaide's measure on this oval pretty comfortably. I think it's the type of game they play. It's very direct and very strong, and their goal-to-goal line is superb.
There's Chopper Handley. Wouldn't he be smiling from ear to ear? Gurdon, short chip pass to right half forward. Down there is Lewis. Whitford. Mills swings it to the wing on the far side. Bromelo gives it across to Jackson. Jackson keeps it low now towards centre-half forward, clears to most players. At the back, though, is number 26 for Central District, and that's Damien Arnold, their big ruckman. Here's Potter, far side of the ground. Little short passes on. Girdham trying to mount a charge again to really try and sew this up. Handley, not sure what's going on there. There's no one within kill. I mean, not a particularly good kick. Here's Cotton, number 44. In the end, though, Jackson's got it. Now he loses it. And touch of the fumbles there, through for a force behind.
14-10 to 10-12. 22 points to difference.
And they've gone from being completely in control, South Adelaide. Their confidence has been crushed by this Bulldog outfit. They're just relentless. So very honest. Keep coming at you and at you. And that's always been the hallmark of Alan Stewart's coaching.
I have to say, when Peter McIntyre plays, South Adelaide are on much, in fact, a vastly different side. And without him, they just lack something up forward. They've got Chris Groom there at the moment. Whilst he started well, he's dropped right out of the game. He's not really providing much at all in that forward line. Ball hugs the boundary line. Wakeland copped one early in the game and seemed to be reeling from that for a while.
It's just what South Adelaide miss about him is his leadership. I mean, I'm just having a look up there.
Well, they started their leader on the boundary side, David. Darren Trevina's obviously having a dirty season. He started on the bench, so that was a strange move. Here's Reimers, good mark. One of the most improved players in the competition, Hugh Reimers.
Yes, I was thinking while he took that mark, I wonder whether the Crows are going to give him another opportunity, because I think clearly he's the best centre-half forward in this competition at this stage. You know, you might say McIntyre in that position is pretty good, but he's only, what, 21 or 22. Surely they've got to let him settle in with the Crows, and he's just going to get better.
Good kick. Travels right to the line. Richardson, good mark. Well, he was 4 or 5 deep, and everybody was just locking arms, and he flew over the top. It was a lovely mark.
1-1 today, and the point he hit the post, in actual fact. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities, though. It's been a terrific job by Quinn in defence.
Well, they needed to smash it across the line, South Adelaide, but their spirit seems to be broken at the moment. Richardson
Has a look from just 5 to 10 metres out. He's got it. So Richardson has added 1 to his tally. He's got 2 for the day, 64 for the year.
Set up by Reimers, of course, with that big mark, and Port Adelaide gave away Adam Richardson. Year before last, they had Pedler, Tyler, Hodges. They thought this guy wouldn't get a chance with them. Gave him up to the Bulldogs, and haven't they utilised him?
Goal kickers, Whitman has 2 and Lamb has 2, but it indicates that they haven't got something like Central District have got. A 5-goal kicker at half forward.
Off a half forward flank. Very rarely that happens.
28 points to margin.
15-10 to 10 goals, 12, 100 players, 72. Central District in command. You get the feeling they've got this game well and truly won. Potter in the thick of things there, a lot of legs and arms, and eventually South Adelaide swing it away. Long kick there by McGuinness, number 46, playing in his 3rd game for the season. Chance now for Central District to whip it away with Cotter, who goes very long and finds Reimers. David suggesting he's probably the best centre-half forward in the competition at the moment. And Central District mounting a charge. Richardson, the kick came from Cook. Here's Jackson, far side of the ground. Can South Adelaide get themselves back into this? They've led for most of the day, but they've been completely overtaken in this, the last quarter, and really the 3rd term as well. Don't forget the footy show coming up at 5:30 on ABC.
A preview of the Crows and West Coast match of the year for us, a dynamite one, player down, and a complete wrap of SANFL scores, and a preview of tomorrow's Sturton Port match.
Player down is Gary Cameron. One suspects that Port Adelaide should take that one and cement their place in the 3rd spot. Whitman didn't find the body, but eventually it went to Jackson. He's had an interesting day, hasn't he? He's been beaten around. He's had 5 goals kicked on him. And at the same time, he's done some good work as well. So, interesting day out. Lewis. got it back. And, to the far side, Arnold. McGowan runs it across the line.
And what would Ken Sheldon be thinking? A win here today, important as the stretcher comes out. So obviously, South Adelaide player in a lot of trouble, but they today. They've got the Eagles at Football Park next week. Cameron is trying to get up. And Port Adelaide at Alberton the following week. So they really had to win 2 of the 3 games, didn't they, to stay right up as a chance for a top 3 berth.
See, look at the trainers there.
Oh, Cameron, that's that left knee that's already been reconstructed once. Let's hope for his sake and the club's sake that it's not anything more serious.
So a delay in proceedings as Gary Cameron's about to come off on a stretcher.
Not taking any risks, and that's not a bad policy, by the way.
Other scores around the ground must be closing in on full time. For Melbourne, North Adelaide, the Tigers have got it, it would seem, 30 points up.
Mark Williams would be will think about that. What an understatement that is after losing their last, what, David? 6?
Could take the pressure off him, won't it?
And here's the incident where Cameron went down. Look at it, he just got his knee caught by Gurdam. Gurdam turned over on him and thrust him sideways, and Cameron was holding the knee straight away.
Not a good sight, is it? The other game around town, of course, is the Eagles and West Adelaide. West Adelaide took that game in round 9, and
the Eagles
time around, the top side have got some revenge.
They've repaid it. They don't forget you, the Eagles, by the way.
You always speak so glowingly about them, David. Do you do their PR work or any of their functions by any chance?
Sure do.
See, the wheels have fallen off the West Adelaide cart, haven't they?
Well, they can regroup. They did that early in the year. Then they beat Port Adelaide and the Eagles and South and North in succession. And they got their season back on track. There's still 6 weeks to go. If they win 5 of their next 6, West Adelaide, they can still play in the finals. Cameron gets a clap. He has been a terrific player today for South Adelaide. Certainly not his side's worst, that's for sure.
Back with the action. Bones takes it out of the air and then gets a quick kick away. Well done by Lewis, who's having a little stint in defence. He'd be enjoying it as well. First game back into the senior side today for 3 months. McGowan gets it to half forward. Roger Gurdam can't control it. It's smashed over. So many a forward thrust from South Adelaide has been thwarted throughout this second half. Central District, conversely, when they've got their runners going, they've had a ball. Here's Gurdam. There's some ground, plenty of South Adelaide players there. They're just not going in hard enough out of the moment, are they? Cotter. Hanley had a good day. He's going to have a busy week, though, because he's got a tribunal appearance to make. Waitman plays it on, drops punt, setting himself as Reimers. He's made a lot of difference in the second half.
Terrific work by Reimers, and gee whiz. The Crows really need something like that, don't they? They could possibly learn a little from this.
I think the thing about him, he still needs to develop a little bit in the upper body to be this good a player at the AFL level like a Wayne Carey.
Reimers has one. He's a good kick of this football. Straight through, has his second. The Bulldogs 15, 10 to 10, 12. Remarkable turnaround. The second side is going to march on, and they are the side to challenge the Eagles in the final.
Yes, I think they're certainly a better side than they were when they were defeated by the Eagles in the Foundation Cup Grand Final. And Reimers has made his impact since half-time. Started the game on the interchange bench, came on at half-time, and since half-time, Central have turned it around with him leading the charge.
16-10 to 10-12. They've kicked just 2 goals in the second half, South Adelaide, David. Not good enough, is it?
No, they haven't attacked from defence. That's been their problem.
Oh, terrible, really, and they'd be very disappointed tonight. They had a very big chance. Here's the Gurdam. 37 points up in front at one stage, and a big mark taken by Reimers again.
Now, Daryl Heath is no slouch athletically, and look at the leap. When he takes the ball at the apex, he's about 10 or 12 inches off the field, and his arms extend another 2 feet. He's a terrific athlete.
So Hugh Reimers from about 35 metres. The umpire goes galloping to his left-hand side, indicates a behind.
A lot of people will say, well, why are you wrapping him up now? What did he do earlier in the season? But he had a very late start to the season. I think he works in a vineyard,
And, of course, they had the crop to bring in. He had long hours, couldn't get to training. And his season really didn't start in terms of being able to get to training till about round 7 or 8. And hasn't he made an impact since?
Here's Whitford's kick, a good one too. Batten sandwiched at the back is Kent Jackson. The hand pass to no one in particular in terms of his own team. Potter there, had it and lost it. And as a result, Power keeps it in play. He was looking for a teammate there. It was just a little too brisk for him. That was Whitman. And there's a free kick being paid. It's going South Adelaide's way to Powell. He's bulked up, hasn't he, Matthew Powell?
Very strong now. They talk about Liptak being dropped now. Liptak is playing for the Crows tomorrow, as is Marty McKinnon, who came out of this central side.
Yes, he's, of course, taken the place of Tregenza. There's Robertson on the bottom of the pack. And
do we know what's wrong with Tregenza?
No, not sure. Not sure whether it's an injury or whether they've made a late decision.
So the Crows have lost.
Matthew
Very strong now. They talk about Liptak being dropped now. Liptak is playing for the Crows tomorrow, as is Marty McKinnon, who came out of this central side.
Yes, he's, of course, taken the place of Tregenza. There's Robertson on the bottom of the pack. And
do we know what's wrong with Tregenza?
No, not sure. Not sure whether it's an injury or whether they've made a late decision.
So the Crows have lost Maynard.
Apparently he was injured at training, so we hear. So,
well, the Crows couldn't be any more underdone with the big clash tomorrow. They lose and their season's definitely gone. So I'm sure the public will get behind them, support them, that they need a win tomorrow to stay in touch with the final 8. So the kick-out will come from Windsor, with the Bulldogs in complete control late in the final term. Out wide, Macri, recruited as a forward, but playing well in the back pocket today. He's done particularly well there. Reimers again, the dominant player on the ground in the second half. Gives it back to Macri. That's their confidence level. They're running hard and long. A beautiful ball downfield, and underneath this one, Coffey, who kicked 2 early goals, marks about 48 metres out on the angle.
What did he kick 14 in the first round, David? Something like that against Sturt. But he's very much hot and cold, isn't he?
Well, I think I've said this a few times. The thing that I've been critical of, when he jumps to the ball, he jumps straight up like a basketball. He needs to jump up and out like Reimers does. But distance won't be the worry. He is a beautiful kick. And he drops it short. Wouldn't you know it? Well, he is cold. He's just come off the interchange bench. Now the battle's on. Who gets underneath this one? It was pushed out by Cotton. Now opportunity for Batten. Robertson, Healy, over the top of it, Mittens. He worked hard, Mitten. He is an honest player. Hasn't had a big day today, but he still thrives on a challenge.
So the dying seconds now.
Whitford and the South Adelaide bench dejected. Ken Sheldon, look at him, doesn't want to know, and wouldn't he be disappointed?
So in at left half forward, it thumps to the line again, but it won't quite make it. Handley and Jackson. Interesting duel that one, with Handley kicking, what's he kicked 5. He's just done very well. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. And
2 easy goals in the fourth. I think that it's not that he kicked those early goals. They were all contested hard. It was those 2 late goals that put the nail in the coffin for South Adelaide, and they were uncontested.
So Central District will win this one and consolidate their position on the ladder, way up the top of the ladder behind the Eagles. Here's Wakeman, who copped a rather nasty knock in the early stages of the game. Cotton's taken it, and he's taken it right on the side, and he'll go back and have a go at this.
Yeah, he's got a terrible kicking style, hasn't he? Jared Cotton has only played 3 games, or this is his 4th, and he's averaged a goal in his other games. Right off, he hasn't kicked one today, so he gets the opportunity of keeping his average intact.
It's an unusual kicking style. On this occasion, I think it hit the post, yes. So Central District recorded a very, very convincing win after trailing at some stages there by 37 points. South Adelaide had their chances. 16-12, 108 to 10-13, 73. And where does South Adelaide go from here? I mean, they're certainly around about the mark as far as the top 5 is concerned. But, David, they had a golden opportunity to really cement their spot.
Well, they go back to the drawing board. They were terrific. There's Gary Cameron heading to the, if it is his knee, heavily iced to make sure there's no bleeding. And you've got to say, they face the Eagles at Football Park next week, Port Adelaide at Albert in the following week,
and they've been demoralised by this Bulldogs side this afternoon. They led by 25 points at half-time, but they couldn't go on with it, and they'll learn from this. They were running in the first half. They really didn't attack out of defence in the second half, and they've paid the penalty for it. In fact, I must say this, physically they were soft in the second half. They didn't take a body. They didn't run and play on, and the things that paid dividends for them early in the year when they were winning is they were hitting body, they were running from defence, and look at that. Glenelg defeated North, the Eagles have defeated West, and the Tigers get back on the winning list. Didn't they need that victory?
Absolutely.
Round 10 was their last win.
Okay, we've got Stephen. He's on the boundary line.
Thanks very much, Mark. Plenty of euphoric scenes down here. If you're a Bulldog supporter, with me, Scott Stevens. It looked like one of the toughest games, was it?
Early on it was. They tackled hard, they chased hard, they did all the little things that we weren't doing. So to their credit, they led at half-time, and to our credit, we come back in the third and last quarter.
Scotty, I thought that during that mess, after the mess, it took you down to the task. Is it a fair assessment?
Yeah, probably. I think we just sort of lost our way a little bit, but at half-time, we come back, we sat down, we knew we could win. That was the thing. We knew we could win, so...
Well, you did just that. You've cemented your place in second spot. Well done.
Thanks very much, Triggy.
So a big win there to Central District. Stephen Trigg on the boundary line, and can they go on from here? Can they win the flag, David? Is it too early to say?
I think they're certainly good enough. That the only side at this stage that can take on the Eagles.
Yes, Port Adelaide and also the Eagles, the top three sides. That's our program from the Adelaide Oval. Don't forget to join us at 5:30 for the football show. Here's the basketball from Sydney. Bye for
At least one player is believed to have been reported, and police were called in to control the incident. As John Parrington reports, though, it was the Bulldogs that eventually won the point.
The before-game entertainment set the tone for a spiteful encounter. The Bulldogs were first away with Robert Handley snapping in front.
Here now is Handley, bashes it through.
Scott Stevens and John Polkinghorn kept the aggro going, as Matthew Powell set up the Panthers first. Pro Chris Broom was proving a stumbling block in defence, and after a series of errors, Chris Whitman capitalised.
From the back of the pack, lines it up from 40 metres, and he's nailed it.
Whitman's second put the Panthers in front.
Here's Whitman again.
Powell was dominating as South established a 2-goal lead, and then the game erupted. Handley appeared to be reported, and in extraordinary scenes, both sides went to the break fighting. The two teams maintained the physical intimidation. South concentrated on the footy, but squandered several opportunities to kick away. Importantly, the Panthers' confidence grew, and when Kent Jackson was crunched, he went on to kick their next goal. Then he was denied the mark of the day. South dominated, but dropped its guard late for vital Bulldog goals to Tim Cook and Handley to go into the long break 4 goals down. Centrals fought back. Richardson's goal levelled the scores at three-quarter time, and the Bulldogs kicked away for victory.
Showed little interest in attacking the